And now we arrive at the final boss. We have fought through the small, finicky frames of 35mm. We have battled the square soul of medium format. But this is different. This is large format, 4 by 5 inches of acetate and silver. There is a myth among photographers. We tell ourselves that to honor a negative this size, to truly pay respect to the sheer amount of information trapped in this sheet, you need a machine as serious and dedicated as the camera that took it. We tell ourselves that the flatbed scanner is the only righteous path. But I am tired of myths, and I am tired of waiting. Today, we are taking the heavyweight champion of film photography and we are putting it through the same gauntlet. The Epson V600 flatbed scanner versus the Franken camera, the Canon R6 Mark II, the cheap 50mm plastic lens, and the hollow extension tubes. But this time, the rules have changed. The ghost is too big to fit in the frame. We have to stitch. We have to mutilate the image to save it. Let's see if the scanner survives the night. The workflow for large format is less of a scan and more of a construction project. If you want the full breakdown of how to scan 4x5 on a V600, I've linked my previous video in the description. It's a tragedy in 3 acts, but the short version is this. The V600 is too small to see the whole sheet at high resolution, so we have to scan it in 2 halves. 2 massive, high-quality JPEGs that we have to surgically attach later. On the camera side, I made a tactical adjustment. In the last test, those cheap meike extension tubes gave us blurry, smurry edges. They were ruining the fight, so I cut the edges off. I set the Canon R6 to a 1.6x crop mode. This means I'm throwing away nearly half my sensor, but I'm keeping the sharpest, sweetest center of the glass. The trade-off? To cover this massive 4x5 negative, I can't just take 1 photo. I can't even take 2. I have to take 6. 6 overlapping shots. 6 fragments of a single moment. It sounds like more work. It sounds like a headache. But let me tell you about the difference between working and waiting. The scanner experience is a special kind of purgatory. You set the parameters, you hit preview, you wait, you hit scan, you wait. The machine makes noises like a dying refrigerator. It thinks, it pauses, it scans 1 half, you wait. You move the film, you scan the second half, you wait. It is passive suffering. You are held hostage by a progress bar that lies to you. The camera workflow? It's kinetic. It's gunfire. Bam, slide, bam, slide, bam, slide. You are engaged. You are the machine. You are physically moving through the landscape of your own image. You don't have time to get bored because if you lose focus, you ruin the shot. And then the stitching. I threw these files into Lightroom. The scanner files are heavy, bloated beasts. Lightroom looked at them, sighed, and took its sweet time stitching them together. It choked on the data. The camera files, even though there were 6 of them, they were leaner, cleaner. Lightroom stitched them up like a zipper. To scan, stitch, and edit these 5 negatives on the V600 took me 1 hour and 20 minutes. To shoot, stitch, and edit On the camera, 30 minutes. 30 minutes. I could have done the entire batch merely 3 times over in the time it took the Epson to finish its polite conversation with the computer. In the war of speed, the scanner didn't just lose. It died of old age on the battlefield. But we don't shoot large format for speed. We shoot it for detail. We shoot it to see the pores on a statue from 100 yards away. So did the camera sacrifice the soul of the image to save an hour of my life? I expected the camera to destroy the scanner here. I expected razor sharp grain. But the result was confusing. All the frames were scanned at the exact same focus, and the last frame came out sharper in the camera than on the scanner, but the remaining frames were just a smooch better on the scanner. On the screen, zoomed out, you cannot tell the difference. They are identical twins. Zoomed in, it's a strange mixed bag. Overall, the camera is actually a smooch softer, just a hair, a tiny breath of blur. Why? I have no idea. Everything was on the exact same settings. However, the difference is so negligible, so microscopic, that you would need to be pressing your nose against the print to see it. The camera comes very close. And remember, this is with a cheap 50mm lens and a $20 extension tube that wasn't designed for this job. We are punching way above our weight class. But then the machine betrayed me. While I was reviewing the scans, looking for that perfection the scanner promised, I saw it. A line, a digital scar cutting across the sky. The scanner is dying. Dead pixels, a sensor failure, a disease in the hardware. This is the reality of the flatbed. It is a sealed box of complex aging electronics. When it fails entirely. I can't open it up and replace a single pixel. I can't swap out the sensor. It's a monolith, and when a monolith cracks, it crumbles. Even if I switch to black and white to hide the color cast of the dead pixels, the line is still there, a faint ghost haunting every single image. My camera will never do this to me, and if it does, if a pixel dies on my camera sensor, it stays in one spot. It's a tiny speck I can heal in one click. It doesn't drag a line across my entire photograph like claw mark. The scanner isn't just slow, it is fragile. So we reach the verdict. Is a dedicated scanner worth the cost? The V600 cost me about $900 back in the day. This is roughly the price of a pristine, professional-grade macro lens. And here is the difference. A macro lens is a window to the world. You can scan film with it, yes, but you can also take it outside. You can photograph the eyes of a jumping spider. You can photograph the texture of a wedding ring. You can photograph the fleas on your dog or bed bugs in your cheap motel room. It is alive, it is versatile, it is glass that lets you see new things. The scanner is a specialized appliance. When it is not scanning film, it sits there like a turd, collecting dust, taking up desk space. It does nothing. It is a plastic coffin for your memories, and it demands a ransom of time to release them. And when it breaks, when it develops that fatal line, it is e-waste. Sure, the scanner technically gave me a higher pixel count file, but pixels are just numbers. If I really wanted to, I could take 12 shots with my camera and stitch them into a gigapixel monster that would crush this scanner into dust. I don't need the scanner's resolution. I have the camera's versatility. The conclusion is clear. The coffin will be buried or sold to some masochist on eBay who thinks they enjoy the ritual of waiting. I am moving to the macro workflow. The speed is addictive. The quality is 99% of the way there, and with a proper macro lens, not these cheap tubes, it will be 110%. I'm open to being proven wrong. Maybe there is a $50,000 drum scanner out there that can beat my camera. But it definitely isn't on this desk. And it definitely isn't in my budget. For the modern photographer, for the person who wants to shoot, process, and see their work before they die of old age, the camera is the only way forward. But this isn't the end of the experiment, because there's another way to digitize a negative, a way that ignores pixels completely. Almost. We are going into the darkroom. Coming up soon, we are going to take these negatives and do what they were actually designed for. We are going to print them on silver gelatin paper. We are going to dodge, burn, and smell the fixer. And then I'm going to scan the print using either the Epson V600 or a regular cheap HP scanner, where I noticed does a little better job scanning. I want to know if the best way to get a digital image isn't to scan the negative, but to scan the finished art. We won't be testing speed there, because the darkroom is a place where time goes to die. But for the art, it might be the holy grail. I'm also realizing something. I have all these photos living on hard drives. Ghosts in the machine. It's time to make them real. I'm going to start offering prints. If you see a ghost in these videos that haunts you, soon you'll be able to hang it on your wall. I need to update my Instagram first. I've been busy fighting scanners, but keep an eye out. The link is below. If you want to help me buy a real macro lens so I can stop using these plastic tubes, or if you want to help me afford the therapy I need after listening to that scanner for 50 hours, you can support the channel. There's a PayPal link in the description, a super thanks button below, or you can join the channel memberships for some extra perks and soon behind the scenes suffering. We have killed the scanner. Long live the camera. I'll see you in the dark.